What's up everyone? In this video I'm going to talk about the Nikon Z50 and see if it's still good in 2023 and so on. And yes, it is still an amazing camera. The Nikon Z50 was released back in October of 2019, and despite its age, it's a 3-year-old camera. Personally, I feel like it's still a brand new camera to me, and I still think the technology is still very good. Just get straight to the specs of the Nikon Z50. It has a 20.9 megapixel CMOS sensor. It is a crop sensor camera. The ISO ranges between 100 to high 2.0, and high 2.0 is 204,000. It has 209 autofocus points. It can shoot up to 11 FPS. It has a 3.2 touchscreen that flips. It does not articulate. It does record 4K footage at 24, 25, and 30 FPS, which is great if you need that 4K footage. It can record 1080 HD videos at 120, 100, 60, 50, 30, 25, and 24 FPS. Having that amount of video options is truly incredible, and especially for an entry level camera. This is what I like about the Nikon Z50, how well the autofocus performance is, especially for video. Just some history here. I've been using the Nikon DSLRs in the past for videos and they've been horrible. I've used my Nikon D750, but I haven't used the Nikon D5300s or the D3300s yet. I know those are a lot better, but still comparing this Z50's video performance to even just the Nikon D750, it's totally different. I love using the Z50 for videos. Another great thing I really like about this camera is the weight and size. Coming from using Nikon DSLRs, this thing feels like a toy. I've used my Nikon D700, even the D3, and when I come back to the Z50, it just feels like a completely different camera, but Nikon did a great job with this. Once you have it in your hands, you know it's a Nikon camera. All the settings, the menus and such is very familiar, even with the older Nikon DSLRs like the D7000, the D300, and the Nikon D3. So I don't think you'll have a lot of issues going back and forth with those cameras. And another thing I like about the Nikon Z50 is also the touchscreen. I do like how convenient it is. My Nikon Z6 does have more buttons, but the touchscreen is very intuitive. The last thing I like about this camera is the Wi-Fi that's built in. I use SnapBridge. I haven't had issues transferring images from this camera to my phone. So using the Nikon SnapBridge app has really helped, just uploading images. As much as I like the Z50, there are some cons with the camera. No camera is perfect. One thing I didn't like about the Nikon Z50 is the battery life. It uses the battery very fast, especially if you're using it all day long. I've had bad experiences with third-party camera batteries, so if you have any suggestions, please comment below. So I'm just sticking with the Nikon. And another bad thing for me is not that bad, but 1/4000 shutter speed. That 1/4000 max shutter speed is very limiting when you're shooting a very fast lens like the 50-1.8 or the 85-1.8, and you need that fast shutter speed. It's not really a con as well. A lot of photographers and YouTubers are saying that it's very limited on the amount of native Z lenses. Right now there's only 4 Nikon Z lenses for the DX crop sensor cameras like the Z30, Z50, and the ZFC. But on the bright side, you can use the FTZ adapter with the Nikon Z50. You can still utilize the Nikon G lenses, so it's not really a deal breaker, but just make sure when you're using like older Sigma, Tamron, or Tokina lenses, make sure they autofocus with the FTZ. As I can show you here, I have the Sigma 10-20. It will function on the Z50 with the FTZ, but it will not autofocus. You can still use those lenses, it's just not going to autofocus. Just make sure that you're double checking to see if those Sigma lenses or the Tamron or the Tokinas will autofocus with the FTZ adapter. And another con, I know this has been brought up a lot from photographers using this camera for vlogging or vloggers, is the flip screen. The flip screen is right below the tripod mount. Luckily, there is a pretty nice way to solve it. I have this small rig L bracket, which is super nice because now you can mount the tripod wherever you like. And whenever I'm doing videos or vlogs, I like the tripod mounted like this. If you want to buy this L bracket and tripod, I'll have links in the description below. So is the Z50 worth buying? I would say yes, it is definitely worth buying, especially if you're new to the mirrorless camera system, or if you have a Nikon DSLR and you're looking for a Nikon mirrorless camera. And like I said before, just because the Nikon Z mounts don't have a lot of lenses, you can still utilize a lot of the Nikon F mount lenses with the FTZ adapter. It's definitely not the end of the world. The video capability is still good. For me personally, the FTZ adapter is a little bigger, so if you are worried about size, you can always fall back to the Nikon 16-50 lens. And another reason why I do like this camera a lot too is the autofocus system, especially if you're doing a selfie or a vlog. I'll show you here just an example of how well it actually tracks the face. And I was just doing this out in the cold, in the shadow, in the bright lights, the sun behind me and the sun in front of me. and it still performs really well. Overall, I still feel like it's like a very capable camera. I'm still using like older Nikon DSLRs like the D7000, and this Z50 is leagues ahead of it video quality wise. That just goes to show you that the Z50 is still a very good camera, especially if you're looking for a mirrorless camera. And again, I'll have links below where you can purchase a Nikon Z50, and I'll have links on where you can purchase the L bracket and the tripod that I use for vlogging as well. So if you have any questions about the Nikon Z50, please comment below and I'll try my best to help. And let me know what you use your Nikon Z50 for. I'd be really interested to know, and I really want to thank you for watching. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe. It would help my channel greatly. Thanks for watching, everyone. See ya.